God finds many other volunteers to travel all over the globe. For example, German pilot Ulrich Nees became part of a team at a major event in Kenya, all because of a providential encounter with Sherham's director at 37,000 feet in the air.
I had that flight from Frankfurt to Washington, and once we get off, once we start rolling, we get that list, a telex from the company. That is a passenger information list. And on that list we have all the names of important passengers, VIPs, the names of the people in the first class with their seat numbers, so the cabin crew can address them with their names. And also we have people, handicapped people, people in wheelchairs, so they know how to treat them. And then that day I looked at it, which is unusual for what I do. And I read somewhere down the list, I read Valkenburg. And I thought, well, Valkenburg, is it our Valkenburg? And then it was Valkenburg R. I said, well, this is, could be him. And then I looked further down the list why he was on the list. And I saw he had ordered a vegetarian meal. And then I thought, well, that must be him. So sometime down the flight, I went to the rear and had a look at what his seat number was.
There was about 5 or 6 rows of seats abreast, and I was sitting right on the aisle. The bathrooms were right behind me. So I took my book that I was reading and laid it on the table and was looking down, reading through my book, feeling uncomfortable, squashed in, and the hours went by very slowly. And I looked up, and I was rather startled. I looked into the face of obviously the captain. He had the 4 stripes on his shoulders.
I'm remembering a sermon which you held in Stuttgart several years ago. And he looked up at me and, oh, nice.
Now, the man that was speaking to me, that had introduced himself, was Ulrich Nees, a senior captain for Lufthansa Airlines, dedicated Seventh-day Adventist.
Well, we talked a little and I invited him up to the cockpit. And then he told me the story about all these campaigns going on in Africa and where he came from.
Just a few weeks later, I received an email from his pastor, Pastor Hubert Kaczmierczak, from Aschaffenburg in the outskirts of Frankfurt. And Pastor Kaczmierczak invited me. He said, the next time you come through Germany, please stop in Frankfurt and spend the Sabbath with us. So I scheduled it before too long, and on another trip, I arranged to be there over Sabbath. And that Sabbath, we worshiped together all day long. And we spent a major part of the day talking about global evangelism, and I invited the pastor and many of the members of the church to come with us, join me, and going to preach one of the campaigns themselves. It was pretty exciting to see what happened as Pastor Kaczmierczak and Captain Ulrich Nees accepted, along with Dr. Johnson and some others, including a young lady from Germany who is a student at Bogenhofen in Austria. These people have come here to Kenya, and they've preached their hearts out, all in the area of Nakuru, in the Lake Nakuru area. And the Lord has blessed them richly, but it all became because of that encounter, not a chance encounter, but that encounter over the Atlantic where the Lord led Brother Nees and me together and touched his heart. And as a result of that, there are going to be lots of new neighbors in the kingdom.